What's up, guys? It's Pastor Caleb here, and I have got a helmet on my head. And if I didn't have a helmet on my head, that would have hurt a lot more than what it did. So why in the world do you wear a helmet? What's the point of having a helmet anyway? Well, this helmet right here in particular is from my bike. And it's really important that I wear it while I'm riding it. Because... Alright, I won't make you try to guess anymore. It's to protect your head. That's right. If you didn't have a helmet on and you fell off your bike and you hit your head, it could be really bad. Like, you could get really hurt. And so, helmets are to protect this part of our body. It's to protect our head, our brain, and it's really, really important. People wear hard hats all over the place, like construction workers wear it in a work site, for example. If you're riding a motorcycle, you'll want to have a helmet on your head. The helmets are awesome. Football players wear them. All sorts of sports teams wear them. Hockey players use them. So anytime somebody is doing something that might damage their head, they always have their helmet on, and they have it on tight. Now, why in the world does Paul tell us to put on a helmet? What does a helmet have to do with the Bible and with Jesus? Well, the next piece of the armor is called the helmet of salvation. The helmet of salvation. Now, again, what do we say that the helmet does? What does it protect? It protects our head. And what's inside of our head? That's right. Our brain is inside of our head. And our brain is what controls our thoughts and our actions. So let's talk about salvation for a second and what that means. So none of us are perfect. All of us do things that don't please God. And those things are called sin. Sin is anything I think, anything I say, anything I do, or anything I don't do that doesn't please God. Okay? That's what sin is. And that sin, it separates us from God. Because God, He can't be around sin. But sin also does something else. You see in the Bible, it says that what we earn for sin is death. That means that we'll be separated from God forever. And that's no good. It's like we're dirty, and no matter how much we scrub and we clean and we try to do right things, we can't ever get clean again. But the good news is that when Jesus came to earth, He came to help us take care of our sin. He came to save us from death and to wipe us clean. And so when we say yes, when we say, I want to follow Jesus, I want to make Him the one that's in control of my life, our sin is erased and we become clean and us and God are good again. And so that's what it means to have salvation. So when we put on the helmet of salvation, the first thing that we're putting on is this idea that we are actually saved from our sin, which is great. But let's talk about something else that it means, okay? So the second thing that the helmet of salvation means is that our minds are protected against negative thoughts, okay? I call it stinkin' thinking.
Ew, that stinks.
Alright? So the helmet of salvation, not only does it represent that we are saved and that Jesus is the one that saves us, but we also get protection from stinkin' thinking.
That stinks.
Now, let me give you an example of stinkin' thinking. Stinkin' thinking, it would be something like this. When your mom and dad ask you to do something, and this little thought enters your head, I don't really want to. So, since I don't want to, I'm not going to do it. That's stinkin' thinking.
Ew.
Okay? Or what about this? If somebody says something mean to you, and you think in your brain, oh, I know something that I could say that is really mean back to that person, and so I'm going to say it back and make them sad because they made me sad. That's stinkin' thinking.
That stinks.
Or how about this? Sometimes stinking thinking is thinking to yourself, oh, I'm not as good as this person. Like maybe you're thinking to yourself, you're at school and you're like, oh man, I see that girl over there and she's so pretty and so popular and I'm just ugly and I'm no good and I'm worthless. That's stinking thinking. That's no good. Or maybe you're thinking to yourself, oh, that guy over there is super athletic and strong and he can run really super fast and he's really super smart on everything and I'm just kind of average and tiny and small and I can't really do stuff. That is stinking thinking.
Ew, that stinks.
And so what stinking thinking does, if we allow those thoughts to enter into our brain, they can really bring us down and they cause us to not act like and see ourselves the way God sees us. See, when we were saved, right, when we put on that helmet and we were saved, when we surrendered our lives to Jesus, Jesus sees us as perfect, and God sees us as perfect and valuable and wanted and awesome and cool and amazing. Those are the ways that God sees us. But our stinking thinking can come in and cause us to think less of ourselves and then think less of others.
Ew.
So here's what the helmet of salvation does. When we put it on, when we arm ourselves with the helmet of salvation, number one, we need to make a choice to follow Jesus. And so when we make that choice and we choose to make Jesus the Lord of our lives, that means that we've got our helmets ready to put on. Okay, got our helmets ready to put on. But then once we put our helmets on, then we can guard against the stinking thinking.
Ew, that stinks.
So the next time you go to put on a helmet, remember this. God loves you and He saved you. The helmet of salvation, He saved you through Jesus. So if you need to surrender your life to Jesus, do that now. But if you've already surrendered your life to Jesus, when you put on that helmet, then remember, listen, I'm watching out for stinking thinking and I'm not going to let those stinking thoughts get into my brain and cause me to think less of myself or cause me to think less of others.
Ew, that stinks.
I'm Pastor Caleb. I hope to see you soon.